So just a couple of weeks ago, Sony did have their State of Play, and it didn't exactly move the needle when it comes to new first-party games, specifically with 2024 and beyond in mind. I think most people, myself included, are excited for Spider-Man 2, but people are also asking, okay, well, what's next? What's the big picture here for Sony going into the second half of this generation? And again, it doesn't really even feel like this generation has fully started, but we're already talking about phase 2 at this point, as it will be 3 years in this November. Well, now it appears the internet believes that there is a Sony State of Play set up before the end of 2023, and the source is well, you'll have to see this one. So if you guys enjoy this video, make sure to hit that like button, helps out a ton. And if new here to the Spawn Wave Plus channel, make sure you subscribe down below. So this is Hideo Kojima working on, I assume, some sort of trailer as he's maybe cutting this stuff together to show off at an event coming up. If I had to take a guess without looking around this image or anything, well, hey, the Jeff Keighley's Game Awards is coming up. Maybe he's putting something together, whether it's for Sony or Microsoft, because remember, he is working on a game for both of them at this time, or maybe just a fun independent project that he's currently putting together to show even further down the line. But a lot of times you'll see images getting posted up. I believe this is from his assistant, who'll just kind of take pictures throughout his day-to-day travels, or if he's in the office working on something. But this is something that's come up before, where people will see something in the background or even the title of something he's working on when they zoom in, and they take from it as a new PS5 game because a development kit was in like the off to the side in an image, or the title of the thing he's working on revealing a new game, or in this case, apparently, a new State of Play. So people saw this image and then zoomed in heavily on sort of this text up here, and people believe that this right here says State of Play, and then I don't know, something here. Maybe people think now maybe Death Stranding 2, which, I mean, it wouldn't shock me if Death Stranding 2 is coming out in 2024, like holiday 2024, although 2025, that's still a very real possibility. But Death Stranding 2, I figured, would be part of the second phase of the PlayStation 5. So, I mean, we've seen it a few times now, and Kojima seems pretty interested in making this, I guess, into just a full-on series with that world, and maybe building it out even beyond just games at this point. But Sony, of course, is intertwined with that intellectual property and all of this. But that's kind of where we are right now with PlayStation, because of the unknown nature to them right now with the big picture going forward. Yeah, zooming in on something like this and just kind of saying, okay, that looks like State and then of and then Play. Oh, wow, okay. State of Play 2023. That's I don't know. I look at that and I'm thinking, wow, you're really kind of like, you're kind of squinting and looking to the side. And I just think right now, more than ever for Sony, people are just looking to try to figure out what's going on. And I mean, the obvious thing is it just takes longer to create games, especially kind of at the caliber that Sony expects from their first parties when it comes to the detail and then the quality and stuff. And I know people say they follow like a specific format. It's still really hard to develop those games and make sure that they're done correctly and fall in line with what Sony is trying to do, which is make Sony Studios, or their PlayStation Studios brand, mean like high quality, the upper echelon, all of that in their mind. So I just think at this time, it's just taken a long time to make these games, and I would like to see like Sucker Punch. We all assume they're working on Ghost of Tsushima 2, so I think that could be interesting to see when they, of course, leave the PS4 behind and just focus solely on the PlayStation 5. What can Sucker Punch get out of that hardware? And obviously, what is Cory Barlog working on is this new intellectual property that Sony Santa Monica is creating. What kind of project is that? And I guess just to look at some of these live service titles as they've shown us, basically title cards and heavy cinematic trailers, because, well, I think it's pretty clear at this point they need to start drumming up the multiplayer side, since Call of Duty, while it's still going to be on PlayStation, as they did sign that 10-year deal, it's going to be Microsoft controlled at that point. So you're kind of leaving it in the hands of them. But interesting stuff here that's kind of where we are right now. It's just even zooming in, cropping, and trying to figure out what Kojima's working on has led to the belief that a Sony State of Play is coming. I still wouldn't rule it out necessarily, because you could drop something in November, for example, since that'd be after Spider-Man 2, where I think that's the primary focus right now, is you want to push their big holiday title that is going to be very much responsible for pushing a ton of PlayStation 5 stock. And with their lofty expectations, they do not want to take the focus off of that game right now. So sure, they could drop something in November. They could even just do something with the Game Awards and then say, hey, we'll be back in 2024 to kind of lay out that year. And then the second half of the PlayStation 5, it's just a lot of people are looking around, and this is the kind of stuff they're coming across now. But hey, let me know what you guys think about this one down below. Specifically, if you zoomed into that image as it's all getting passed around, did you see a State of Play up there in the very blurry text for that title? Thanks, guys, for watching, and I'll see you next time.